right now, without making a single sound, without asking for your attention, and without you even realizing it's happening. Your cat is doing something that most pet owners never fully grasp. Something that has been going on since the very first day they came into your home. And once you understand what it actually is, every strange, confusing, or seemingly random thing your cat has ever done is going to start making complete and total sense. Because here's what almost nobody tells you. That distant, unpredictable, hard-to-read creature you share your space with is not operating on impulse or mood. Every single behavior your cat displays toward you is the output of a remarkably precise internal process, one that has been running quietly in the background this entire time. Stay with me until the end of this video because what we're about to get into is going to completely reshape the way you see your relationship with your cat. And if you're someone who genuinely wants to understand these animals beyond the surface level, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now because we go deep into this kind of content every single week and you are not going to want to miss what's coming. All right, let's get into it. There's a version of your cat that most people are familiar with. The one that sleeps in improbable positions for 12 hours a day, materializes in the kitchen the second you open a specific drawer, stares at a blank wall for 3 minutes, and then walks away like nothing happened. From the outside, it looks like the behavior of a creature that is either completely checked out or operating on a logic that has nothing to do with you. But that interpretation, as comfortable and familiar as it might feel, misses almost everything that's actually going on. While your cat appears to simply be occupying the same space as you, they are simultaneously running a continuous, detailed, and remarkably sophisticated assessment of your behavior. Every single thing you do in their presence is being received, processed, and cataloged. The way you move through the apartment when you're in a good mood versus when something is weighing on you. The specific sound your footsteps make when you're in a hurry versus when you're relaxed. The way your posture shifts when you sit down after a genuinely difficult day. Your cat is not missing any of it. And this goes far deeper than simple observation because the sensory toolkit your cat is working with is operating on a completely different level than yours. Their hearing range extends well beyond what humans can detect, which means they're catching acoustic information that no other person in the room would be able to pick up. The slight tightness in your voice when you're pretending to be fine. The almost imperceptible change in your breathing rhythm when something is wrong. The way your tone flattens when you're emotionally exhausted. To your cat, these are clear, readable signals, not subtle ones. Then there's their sense of smell, which is conservatively estimated to be 10 to 15 times more powerful than a human's. And this matters enormously because emotions are not just psychological states. They are biological events with measurable physical consequences. Stress triggers a release of cortisol. Fear and anxiety activate adrenaline production. These hormonal shifts alter your body chemistry in ways that are completely invisible to other humans, but entirely legible to a cat functioning at that olfactory level. Your cat can detect what emotional state you're in before you've even sat down, before you've said a word, possibly even before you've consciously identified it yourself. This combination of heightened hearing and extraordinary olfactory sensitivity means that your cat has access to a version of you that operates below the level of social presentation. The version you project to the world, the composed, functioning, everything is fine version, is essentially irrelevant to your cat. What they're reading is the version underneath that one, the one your body is communicating without your permission. Now here's where it gets even more layered. Cats are not creatures that only exist in the present moment. Decades of research into feline cognition have established that cats possess genuine long-term associative memory. They encode experiences together with the emotional and sensory context those experiences occurred in, and they retain that information over extended periods of time. Your cat isn't evaluating you based purely on what happened this morning. They are comparing today's version of you against every version they've encountered across the entire history of your relationship. They are looking for patterns, for consistency, for the places where your behavior aligns with what they've come to expect and the places where it doesn't. Over time, this accumulation of observation builds what animal behavior researchers describe as an internal behavioral model of the owner. A deeply personalized map that encodes your routines, your emotional rhythms, your physical habits, and your overall reliability as a presence in their environment. What time do you typically come home? How does your energy shift on different days of the week? What does your body language look like right before you're about to leave? When are you genuinely available for connection? And when do you need the room to yourself? All of that is in the map, and your cat is consulting it constantly, whether you realize it or not. This is why cats often seem to know things they shouldn't be able to know. Why they show up in the room right when you're at your lowest point and you haven't done anything to signal that to them. Why they respond differently to two people who look from the outside like they're behaving in basically the same way. The cat isn't reacting to what's visible. They're responding to what the accumulated data tells them. And the accumulated data does not lie. Research published in animal behavior journals has demonstrated that cats actively differentiate between their owner's positive and negative emotional expressions, and that this differentiation has a direct impact on how the cat chooses to behave. When owners display relaxed, open body language and the physiological markers of a calm emotional state, cats show measurably higher rates of affiliative behavior, approaching more often, vocalizing, seeking physical contact. When owners display tension, withdrawal, or stress signals, cats tend to create distance, retreat to separate areas of the home, or become less responsive to social overtures. They're not being cold or inconsiderate. They're reading the situation accurately and responding to what they actually perceive rather than what anyone wishes they would perceive. What all of this builds toward is something worth sitting with for a moment. Your cat has formed a specific, concrete opinion of you, not of the person you intend to be or the version of yourself you'd most like to project, but of the person your behavior, your body language, and your involuntary biochemical signals have consistently presented to them over time. That opinion shapes everything about how they interact with you on a day-to-day basis, how much they trust you, how comfortable they are being vulnerable around you, how reliably they seek you out versus how consistently they maintain their distance. The long stare from across the room isn't random, it's active processing. The way they sometimes come to you without any apparent prompt isn't mysterious. It's a response to something they've detected in your chemistry or your posture that matches a pattern they've learned to associate with a particular emotional state of yours. The moments they seem completely indifferent to your attempts to engage them aren't personal rejection. They're the result of a specific read on your current state that tells them this is not the right moment. Every single one of those behaviors is consistent with the internal model they've built, consistent with the conclusions they've drawn from a process of observation that has been running quietly and without interruption since the day they arrived. There is one behavior that captures this entire dynamic in a single gesture, When your cat holds eye contact with you and then slowly, deliberately lets their eyelids close, what's commonly called the slow blink, that moment is not just an expression of warmth. In feline communication, it represents the conclusion of an evaluation. It means your cat has taken in everything they know about you, weighed it against what they're observing in this specific moment, and arrived at a verdict of trust. It is their way of communicating that the process is complete and the result is favorable. That verdict wasn't given freely or automatically. It was earned through consistency, through patterns of behavior that accumulated over time and told your cat something reliable about who you are. And it was reached without any consideration of your intentions, your explanations, or the story you tell yourself about the kind of person you are. Just the evidence, just what was actually there to be observed day after day over the entire course of your life together. Which means your cat may hold one of the most honest assessments of you that exists anywhere. Not shaped by politeness, not softened by affection, not distorted by the desire to see something that isn't really there. Just a clear, evidence-based read on who you actually are in practice. The question that follows naturally from everything we've just explored is not whether your cat has been watching you all along. We've established that beyond any doubt. The real question is what they've concluded, and whether the version of you they carry around in their internal map is the one you'd choose to be if you knew they were always paying this much attention. If you want to keep pulling back the curtain on what's really going on inside the mind of your cat, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And if this one genuinely shifted something in how you see your relationship with your cat, leave a like before you go. It makes a real difference, and it tells us you want more of this. We'll see you in the next one.